Hello Year 3, Mrs Norris here, taking you through Tuesday's English lesson, day 2 of our focus on character description. So yesterday's learning was a reading lesson, unpicking vocabulary and some information about trolls. We'll have a go at our Spag Starter session first, and today's focus is on nouns. The link is here and is saved on the documents video link, and it will take you to these activities on BBC Bitesize. So it should take you to this page here. Identifying nouns. So a short clip for you to watch discussing common nouns and proper nouns, as those two are the most common types of nouns that we are learning about in Year 3. Read through the information here. There's another video. You may or may not want to watch that one, and then the most important bit is the practice, these two things here. Okay, and there is going to be something else on nouns later on in the week where we'll have a go at the quiz and other activities as well. Okay, let's carry on with our lesson. So the truth about trolls was our stimulus. We're going to look at another piece of writing today, which is a waggle, what a good one looks like, example of a character description to help support this week's learning. What part of our learning journey? Exploring as a writer is today's focus. I can identify key features of a character description. So that's what you will be able to do by the end of today's lesson. Today's lesson consists of reading the character description, exploring the text as a writer, generating keys to success, and then drawing your own picture of a troll. So if you haven't worked it out already, that will be your image then to help you write a character description of a troll. Okay, so I have kept this on. You may want to go back and have a little look at it, but that is not the piece we're reading today. Before we do any of that, your question I left you with at the end of yesterday's lesson was, what do you remember about a character description? As Miss Manuel explained to me that you have done a character description in the autumn term about, I think it was the Sandman for Michael Mulpogan book. So the clip that I've got for you, the character description, is the waggle that you used at that time. So I thought that would be familiar to you. Okay. So I hope you're coming up with some ideas as reminders. So as we work through, let's see if what you have remembered. Here is our character description. So what you need to do now, I'll put it onto full screen as big as I can, is read the character description through. And an old favourite, the BFG. If you are struggling to read the text on the screen, I will put a copy of the character description on the Google Drive area for you so you can print it out should you wish to. Okay, so pause here whilst you read through. Okay, so what have you spotted? So we need a whiteboard and pen, or a piece of paper and a pencil of some sort. Exploring as a writer. Make a list. Think as we did last week. Think about the structure and the language use in the text itself. If you have printed this copy off, you might want to highlight to show you have found some key things within the text, or you might just want to write a list of features to create your keys to success. So pause here whilst you have a go at doing that. Remember, don't worry if you don't remember all of the key things. Just have a look, see what you can spot within the text. We'll go through it together in a moment. So pause whilst you complete that. Okay, so the structure. At the top there is a title. We have the BFG, and you may notice it is broken up into paragraphs here. So there is the first paragraph and the second paragraph. The paragraph itself, the first one, is about exploring and recalling the appearance of the BFG, and the second paragraph is the personality of the BFG. So those two things are included. The blue circles here, apologies, the dog next door is barking, are commas in a list. So there's a list of adjectives here, and they are broken up with a comma in a list. Okay, so title, paragraphs, commas in a list. Let's have a little look at the language features. Did you spot any adjectives? Okay, we've got long, pale, we've got bright, we've got white, we've got dirty, we've got old, we've got lots of other ones here. As before, I haven't highlighted every single one for you. You may have found different ones to me. We've got the use of expanded noun phrases. So here is an example of an expanded noun phrase. We have long, pale and wrinkly face. Okay, so there is the noun. We have got the adjectives to describe the face. We have got two bright flashing eyes. So we've got, there's the word, the noun, and we have got the adjectives describing here. We have got massive square teeth, but this time we do not have a comma because it hasn't created a list of features here. Okay, we have very white and very square, so that's repeated use here of the word very. Coordinating conjunctions. The main example here in this one is the word and, connecting two short sentences together here. Okay, so those are circled in red. You could use a variety of different ones, and, but, yet, so are all good examples of coordinating conjunctions. The use of similes. Okay, so we will look at expanded noun phrases and we will look at similes during our lessons this week. Tomorrow we're going to specifically focus on expanded noun phrases, and Thursday on the use of similes. So I've tried to highlight in a blue highlighter pen some examples of similes. His nose was as sharp as a knife. Okay, so this part here, as sharp as a knife. So his nose wasn't actually a knife, but it looked as sharp as a knife. An arm as thick as a tree trunk. So obviously his arm wasn't a tree trunk, but it looked as thick as a tree trunk. I like the idea here. They sat in his mouth like huge slices of white bread. And that's referring to his teeth. I love that explanation of teeth. Okay, so you can carry on, have a little look. Now, if you weren't sure when we made the when you had a little go here by yourself, if you weren't sure, pause here and see what else you can find that I haven't highlighted on the waggle itself, of the key things that are the structure and the language of a character description. So pause here. Okay, so this is just a little task for you to have a go at. I won't be putting the answers on purely because it is what you find within the text. So it's a find it task. Number 1, can you write a sentence that has a conjunction? So it's just to help you understand some of the key features. Number 2, copy an example of commas in a list. Number 3, select 3 of your favourite adjectives. Number 4, choose the best noun phrase. Number 5, copy an example of a simile. Okay, so pause whilst you use the text here or on your piece of paper to complete that find it task. Okay, right, we are nearly at the end of our lesson. The last thing on the list was, after you identified all the key features of a character description, I thought what you're going to need to do now, you could use this picture of a troll here. However, I'm going to use this one to model my example to you. So I'd like you to draw your own picture of a troll in preparation for your own character description. You will need it for tomorrow's lesson, so Wednesday and Thursday's lesson. So make sure you complete that today, ready for your lessons later on in the week. On here, I've just put some different images of what people think trolls are like, just as some inspiration to get you started. Be as creative as you can. Okay, how have you got on with today's lesson? Could you identify the key features of a character description? If you couldn't at the start, hopefully you can now at the end of today's lesson. Wednesdays, what is a noun? What is an adjective? I will give you that as your retrieval question. And start thinking about how you might describe the troll that you have drawn. Can't wait to see some of your troll pictures later on in the week. Thank you for joining in with today's lesson, Year 3. Speak to you soon. Bye.